Two of my most popular posts, especially on TikTok, are about breakups, and it's they're just hard. Let's get down to the truth about some of these things. If you're hurting right now from a breakup, whether it's the breakup's just happened, you're in the middle of it, or you're thinking it was 2 years ago, why haven't I gotten over this? Let's go down and get into some of those why. Okay. Firstly, we need an awareness of some facts here. Okay. While you were in this relationship, your brain, in whatever capacity, it felt it was safe. And then the car crash of all car crashes happened. And your world has literally been ripped apart and pulled in every direction. And there's nothing in your psyche that understands this. You didn't see it coming. And even if you did see it coming, you might not have believed it would ever happen. And your anatomy, your past, the history, the DNA in your body, everything that you have as a reference point is probably connected to this person, and they're not there anymore. Every possible plan you probably had for the future was connected to this person, and they're not there anymore. So what the hell are you going to do? How do you cope with it? How do you get over this? It's not easy. It just isn't easy. Okay, it's hard, and it can be really hard. And we have to understand certain things. One, there's this weird kind of dichotomy going on in your life that the very person that's caused this could actually help you, because part of your body, emotionally and physically, is just screaming out for some contact with that person, some reassurance that this has been one big huge mistake. It's just a nightmare and it's over. And if you could just have that, tomorrow, you're going to sleep well tonight. Tomorrow you're not going to down yourself. Your whole world is perfect. It's all back where you understand it. It's all back in a manner that you know, that you realise, that you can connect to. It's all tangible. But that's not going to happen, is it? And you can't figure out what to do next. What's the next step? How do you get by? These things that were once security now makes you feel vulnerable. You feel humiliated. And what's worse is when you're feeling this vulnerable, this down, is you have no self-defense mechanism that gives you strength to defend yourself. So you start thinking that everyone is talking about you, that everyone thinks you're a fool, everyone thinks you're an idiot. And how do you combat this? There are practical solutions, but they're not going to help you right now. Your state is too vulnerable. Your mind is not open to that. And ultimately, there's a few ways to look at this. One, time. Time is going to heal everything. But that cliche never helped anyone, ever. It's a great hindsight cliche. Two, you're going to have to learn to rebuild your self-esteem. But that doesn't help you right now. It doesn't help you in any way, shape or form. Three, there's an obsession going on in your head about how to fix it, how to solve it, what's the other person doing? And you're over-analysing. But ultimately, you need to get a place of self-esteem, being in love with yourself, loving who you are. And if you come back to me with, but I don't love myself, well, then the question to that is why? What is it deep down that you desire to do, that you want to do, that you're trying to do, that you're not doing? That's the exploration of life. And it hurts for a reason. It hurts because you love them. You love them with all your heart, with everything you had. And this rejection makes you feel like you're not enough. And we are compelled as people to want to connect with someone, to be worth something to somebody. And we had this romanticized image in our minds, which is great, by the way, but that when you used to come home and you loved being with that person, connecting with that person, hearing their voice, feeling them in your home and knowing they were there, their possessions and all of that, that sense of security that they were the one, the only one, your natural expectation was that they felt the same about you. You naturally assumed, and rightly assumed, that this connection you had was based on the same values. So they couldn't possibly do what they've done to you. That couldn't happen. But that's all wrong as well, isn't it? So what part of your life was real? Was any of it real? Did any of it matter? Was there a single thing they said that had any truth in it at all? Does that explain it? Does that kind of, yeah, that's how I feel? Add some extra carnage to that? There could have been really big lies. There could have been financial abuse, personal abuse, emotional, physical. But you didn't give up on them. You continue to believe in them. So when you've done all of this, you kind of have this strange moral high point going on in your mind that, well, I did everything right. I'm the good person. So why have I been discarded like trash? How did that happen to me? Because according to everything I've ever known, if I've done all the right things, then I should have been the one that was worshipped. I should have been the one that was revered. I'm supposed to be the one. I thought we were best mates, soulmates, twin flame. We had the connection. We had these dreams. We had everything planned. That's not life. It's people don't share our expectations, even when we think we know them deeply. And then when they pull out of our lives the way they do, we can then very deeply doubt we even know ourselves. So we get back to self-esteem, self-love. We have to cultivate it. We have to build on it. And it's like any skill. You have to learn it and you have to practice it every day. And with repetition, it gets better and better and better. And some of the principles of self-love is knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing how to go about it. Do some research, look into things. Where do you want to live? What is it you want to do? Why do you want to live there? Why do you want to do that? What makes you feel passionate about that? And then, day by day, little by little, you start to repair. You start to heal. But the healing process and that repairing process only comes when you start trying to create a new identity, a new purpose of who you are, a new reason for getting up. Because everything that is in your mind now, that library that tells you every reference point you had about life, is or was connected to that person. And we keep going back there as well, almost trying to make something right. But that person moved on. That person moved on long before you probably ever knew. So their mind already was elsewhere, already was in another place. You were never part of that picture or that plan. So you now have to build a plan of who you are, a picture of who you are. What is valuable to you? What is meaningful to you? Why is it valuable? Why is it meaningful? And you keep doing this repetitively. And I know it's hard, but you're in pain right now. You're hurting right now. But your constant dialogue is also just reaffirming how much you're in pain, how much you hurt. You need to create a dialogue that's starting to change the language that your body feels, the language that is being spoken to your body. That inner dialogue is kind of sends out a fertilizer, a growth pattern for your body. And if it's all heartache, all pain, and all negativity, it's just going to draw in illness. You're literally going to grow the seeds, develop them, all of this, the illnesses and the fatigues and the depression. You can't help it. Your body is responding to how you think, and your mind then starts to respond to how your body is behaving. And you literally have to change your inner dialogue and talk yourself out of this situation. But here's the thing you really need to understand. It's not going to happen tomorrow. You have to practice this every day, every single day. You have to try and practice a positive dialogue. And I don't mean I'm going to be a millionaire. You start with, I love you. I am a good person. These good things happened to me today. I'm excited about doing this. I'm excited about exploring my life. You need to pull yourself up and sign up to a night class, sign up to a club, go and explore different things, different excitement. Meet people who do not know who you are. Meet people who have no idea of what your story is. And be a different person, be a new person. Explore being the person you want to be. Explore how to be confident, how to be funny. Find your crowd again. Discover who you now are. And keep working on that. Imagine it's just an exercise like going running, an exercise like learning to play the piano, an exercise like learning a new language. It's repetitiveness, it's practice, and you don't ever stop. And you keep going, you keep pushing, you try harder every single day, and you commit to it. And then one day, much sooner than you ever imagine, the tide will change, and you will find your thoughts pulled in a different direction. You'll find your body responding in a different way. And you will find yourself lifting out of the darkness and seeing the light on the horizon. And you'll wake up one day and realize what an incredible person you are, what a gift you can be. You will realize that the self-love that you've cultivated, the confidence that you have, the self-worth that you have, the humility that you have, makes you a great person. It makes you special. And you'll come out of this a much, much better person. And in the weird way that, when I look at him now, I don't know what I've seen. What you will start to see is, oh yeah, I had these things I didn't like about myself, and that person filled those spaces. And you'll start to see different people with new values, different people that reflect a new way. And here's the real stinger. You may wake up and decide or realize, actually, I'm quite happy on my own. Or you may meet somebody and find that you have these new boundaries because you have this new confidence that you don't complete me. I already am complete. I complete myself. But I enjoy your company and you can compliment me. But I don't need you. I just desire you in my life. You're not a necessity. You're not like oxygen. I don't need you to breathe. And that's a good, healthy place to be. But while you're going through the trauma, it sounds like a wild dream. While you feel that you've been pulled apart in 100 different ways, it can be hard to understand that that's attainable. But it really is. It is. And I just, for your own sake, just try. Just try everything I've suggested. Take care.